God Wars Dungeon was released in 2007, with 4 bosses found inside, many new weapons and new armor sets. It was probably one of the largest combat updates in the game at the time of its release. The 4 bosses represent the factions Bandos, Armadil, Zamorak and Saradomin. The reason for all these generals and their troops being found in the dungeon is explained in part 1 of the video, link of that in the description. The dungeon itself is located near Trollheim and can only be reached once you've got 60 strength or 60 agility to get past a boulder outside the entrance. Today we're going to be covering the loot I got from 100 kills at all 4 of the generals. To reach each general's encampment a different skill level is required, and inside the encampment there's troops representing each general's faction, and then you'll have a few opposing troops fighting each other. To actually get to the fight for any of the generals, you need to kill 40 of a faction's troops, and that gives you the ability to enter the instance and fight the boss. For me, as I had max stats, I didn't struggle to self-sustain myself using penance and the dragon tooth necklace that you get from dungeoneering. Basically, anytime you bury a bone, it gives you some prayer points back, and because I have Bone Crusher, it's constantly a flow of stuff. Apart from on Krill. Krill is the Zamorak one, and we'll come to that a little bit later. But I was using Soul Split and Amulet of Souls in conjunction with each other. They give you a huge amount of healing. I did sometimes switch out to the Blood Amulet of Fury because it's a bit cheaper to use. It doesn't heal you as much, I don't think, overall, but the actual cost was probably well worth it for me. I was also assisted in my health pool by the drops from the general's minions, because inside the boss instance you've not just got the general, you've got 3 of their minions. And they drop food, like all sorts of little bits. They can drop similar drops to the main general. There's also very rare chances at rare items, like 1 in 60k I think. This was my strategy for all 4 of the generals, using the food, penance, Amulet of Souls and Soul Split. And with that I was able to quite easily complete the 100 kills at each general. Important thing that I completely forgot, and you won't see in this video, is that if I'd gone to the Glacial Cave, which you can reach after completing Ritual of the Marjarat, you gain a 5% damage bonus when you're in the God Wars dungeon. I won't be forgetting this when it comes to next, because that's a huge free damage buff, and it lasts 4 hours when you visit there for the first time, so massive stuff. Now let's get on with the generals. First off, I started with General Grador, who represents Bandos. He's a member of the Org race, and they arrived in Gielinor near the beginning of the God Wars. He shared the ideals of Bandos, loving a fight, and is an absolutely huge boy, massive strength, and originally he learned to use weaponry, but after time realised he didn't actually need to use it, he just had his fists, and they were strong enough, they'd deal with pretty much anything he came across. He's also featured in a lot of quests over the years, The World Wakes, Missing Presumed Death, and The Mighty Fall, to name a few. He only had 40k HP. And this made it very quick. The kills were literally less than 30 seconds. His drops were pretty solid, decent melee armour in the Bandos set, and the most valuable item of those is the chest plate, being just under 3 mil. The chance of a Bandos piece, so this is any of the 6, is 1 in 64. So it's 6 out of 384, 6 different pieces. I believe that goes down to 1 in 64. Hopefully I can do maths. There are other rare items available from the generals and the minions, and that is the War Priest gear. It's mostly used to disassemble into invention components, so you can get Bandos components from Bandos War Priest and etc. for all the other 4. They're really useful in various perks in the invention skill. There is also a chance at shards of the fabled Godsword blade from any of the generals or minions, and there's a 1 in 512 chance from each general to get the faction's Godsword hilt. Here's a few clips of the kills. After this, we'll have a look and see what I got in total. I'm not using threshold, I just pop. Alright then. That's a start. That's a start. Okay. 2kc in. Let's go. And then Soul Split. Holy moly. We've got 2 drops and like 15 kills. Nice. I've got 600 holy overloads, so it's not like I'm needing to worry about looking after them. Oh my gosh. Right. So about 1 in 80, eh? And we've got 3 in 35. That didn't heal anything. Oi, 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 oi. No, you don't, matey. Nice, nice. That's something I need to do at some point as well. Is all the achievement. Ooh, look at this. 2 shards down, 1 to go. Fair enough, man. I didn't have the helm before, did I? That was like back-to-back nice things. I'm a fan of nice things. We might not be okay here. This could be awkward because he's just smacking me in the face repeatedly. Oh, for God's sake. Why? Why? No! Stop. Well, as you can see, I forgot to take off the magic note paper for the screenshot, so you're looking just over 5 mil, plus some coins, plus I think it was about 8k each for the bones. So you're looking round about 7 mil, just under 7 mil, so 3.5 mil an hour. Not too great. Now we move to the second general, Krill Tsuroth, the Zamarakian representative. He's a demon whose race, the Avernics, were freed by Zamorak, who led them in an uprising against their rulers, the Chthonians. The Chthonians are actually the same race as the Abyssal Demons. He very nearly killed Commander Ziliana, mortally wounding her, but leaving her for dead, and then Saradomin just did his thing and appeared, teleported her away, and healed her with a stone of jazz. He has pretty low HP, only 55k, but he does have a pretty hefty special attack that can deal like at least 5.5k damage, and it drains half of your current prayer points, which is really not very nice. Luckily though, a lot of the time I was also getting the kills finished before he would do this special. That made obviously sustaining a whole lot easier, and yeah, he wasn't too much of an issue. I think I actually have over 1,000 Krill kills in total, so I was only missing the pet. As with General Brador, there was a chance at a set of armour, the Subjugation Armour. That is tier 70 mage armour, and it works out a roughly 1 in 80 chance for a piece of that. There's also a chance at a Zamorak Spear or a Battle Staff, a Steam Battle Staff, that is. You don't want the Steam Battle Staff, it's like 20k, and it's the same chance as the Zamorak Spear, which is nearly 2 mil, so it's kind of a little bit sad when you get that. The highest value drop is the body piece, that's 4.6 mil GP. Krill's fairly consistent money, as the Wines of Zamorak are fairly common drops, and they're always worth, it seems, 10k plus. They're used for super ranging potions and also super Zamorak brews. Here we go, it's the clips. Let's see what I got. Oh, and a tuna potato, beautiful. What's this? Free Zami component, sweet. Okay, what are we up to now? 909. Ooh. Ooh, look at that. But yeah, Enhanced Excalibur does seem a very useful little bit of kit. Well, that's our third, unique drop. Ah, we're past the halfway point. We're at 51 kills. Still no Zamorak pieces yet. Another Zamorak component. Oh, yes! At last! At last, something! Oh, it's not exactly the best subjugation drop, but it's a drop. Yes! Oh, yes, 2. Let's go. It's kind of literally the worst possible one, but it's fine. It's a drop still. It counts. Sweet. But maybe the last minion? You never know. It's like a 1 in 10k, right? for a second. But no. No luck. Alright, that is 100 kills at kree'arra, all finished up. Okay, 2 subjugation pieces. So again, we're round about drop rate. A little unlucky in that they were the 2 least valuable items possible. But you can see the wines really carried in terms of the GP earned. Like, we still got 10.5 mil, I would say. Unfortunately, the coin drops just go straight into the coin pouch, and I keep forgetting to empty it. So 10.5 mil, so what's that, 105k per kill? And again, less than 2 hours, so over 5 mil GP an hour. 2 down, 2 to go. Next up was kree'arra. He's the Armadillian representative and an Aviancy, and they've always followed Armadil. The reason they follow Armadil is that he was the one who united their race after there was a tribal war going on the home world of Avinar. kree'arra has also been present at a lot of the other generals' affairs, and also made a brief appearance in Sliske's endgame. kree'arra has the highest HP of any of the generals, 75,000, so the kills were taking a little bit closer to a minute, meaning the 100 kills took just over 2 hours rather than just under. As with the previous 2 generals, a unique armor set is available, the tier 70 ranged Armadil armor, at a 1 in 64 chance, so the same as Grado. Armadil is hugely valuable right now though, because Ancient Invention has given Armadil components another use, and the Armadil chestplate is worth just over 7 million GP at the time of recording. Other available items to be dropped include the fairly valuable Crushed Nest drop, super ranging and defense pots, which are super ranging especially really good, but also seem quite rare. There's also various rune and dragon ammunition. Anyway, it's that time, let's have a look and see what I got. If we don't see anything for the entire hour, then we've definitely gone unlucky, and look at that. What was I just saying? If we don't see anything, unfortunately I've already got the boots, but there's our first drop. Little Wallace there. Hiding behind his shield. Oh! Oh, that's a new one as well. Sweet. Here we are, just inspecting Wallace. And then we get an Armadil helmet. Beautiful. Dwarf Weed as well, another beam. Beautiful, this. Flying along now. Never heard of them before. Oh! Ooh! Armadil item, right? Yeah. Well, I say Armadil item. Oh, that was probably the quickest kill of the day. 28 seconds. So again, 2 more armor pieces. However, again, they were also 2 of the least valuable. If I included the raw coin drops, you're looking at closer to 9.5 mil. So we're just under 5 mil GP an hour. But again, they were the 2 least valuable drops. If I'd got the plate or the skirt, they're at like 6.5, 7 mil each. So it makes an absolutely massive change to the GP per hour. On to the final general, Commander Ziliana. She represents Saradomin, and as mentioned earlier, was healed by the power of Stoner Jazz by Saradomin himself. During the God Wars, when they were all stuck in the temple fighting each other and stuck in their own encampments, Saradomin sent 3 amulets to Commander Ziliana. They appeared on the altar, she destroyed them, they appeared the next day, and she realised what was going on. The 3 amulets represent the other 3 factions in the dungeon. Each amulet has the symbol of that faction, the god, on it. Once the amulets were worn by members of the faction that they represented, Ziliana actually had influence over their opposing generals' minds. She used this power to convince kree'arra to attack, and that led to the Armadil forces losing their precious crossbow, hence explaining why it's actually available as a drop from Ziliana. As with the other generals, she's appeared in many other quests over the years, also including Desperate Times. Ziliana has 60k HP, but only has a max hit around 2k, making the kills very easy to sustain through, and the kills are taking between 30 and 45 seconds each. This meant we're looking again less than 2 hours for the 100 kills. Ziliana's drops don't include an armor set, but instead they include a range of weaponry and the 3 magical amulets that Saradomin gifted her. The Armadillo crossbow and offhand variant are currently around 5 mil each, so they're really nice drops to get, but again, they are pretty rare. You're looking roughly for any of the uniques 1 in 64, so very similar to the other generals in the dungeon. But other drops from Ziliana also include lots of different potions, again, salvage, ranars, and coins. As is tradition at this point, here's a couple of clips from the kills. Okay, kill number 5. Whole load of nothing. Collection of stuff here. Right, there was Ziliana's notes. I've got a murmur and half a key. Wow, that's very nice. Yes, I know, you don't have to tell me. I included the note paper again. So yeah, Ziliana, total loot excluding coins, less than 3 million GP. We did get the unique murmur though, which is the most valuable of the necklaces. But we're looking probably 3.5 if I include all the coin drops and bone drops and stuff that were eaten by my bone crusher. So yeah, 1.75 mil per hour. Amazing. Now let's do a little summary. We've reached the end. We've killed 400 bosses. How much money do we think we've made? Well, if you guessed about 30.5 million GP, you would be right. So that's under 4 mil GP an hour, because it took me about 8 hours to complete all of these kills. That's also means you're looking, what's that work out? 400, so under 100k per boss? Yeah, under 100k per boss. Which actually makes it worse than some of my previous kills, which is slightly unfortunate. It's just the fact that Ziliana, just no money there. It was such a shame. And it's kind of the same with Bandos. The Bandos pieces for invention aren't needed as much as, obviously, you saw the prices of Kree's pieces and Zamorak pieces. Like, it's insane how much more they are. So that brings an end to me playing with the generals. Or does it? Because we have one big, bad, meanie general left. And that is, of course, Nex. So Nex was the original cause for the Temple of Lost Ancients to be built. It was a prison for her. She then got freed in the middle of the God Wars, and then frozen back again. And we're going to go and slay her a bit. We're going to do 50 solo, 50 duo kills, see how much money you can make either way. I'm looking forward to it because it's going to be the first boss that actually has a little bit of a challenge and isn't just to click on them and they die, which unfortunately is what most of these bosses have been. I know I died twice at Bandos, you don't need to bring that up. I'm not really sure what happened, but shh. So yeah, it'll be interesting to actually learn something because I've not really done a huge amount of Nex, and it'll be good to go through and actually chat about what I learned about the fight in the 100 kills. So I hope you're looking forward to that. Make sure you don't miss it. Please drop a subscribe on the channel if you've been enjoying the content I've been putting out. It's quite varied on here, that I will admit. You've got interviews, you've got random Runescape experiments, you've got these final boss videos that are a little bit more in depth. Also looking at podcasts and stuff in the future, so keep your ears out. I'll be back soon, I'm sure. And until next time, stay safe.